while I wash my hands. May I see your name, Ben? Okay. Ms. Patience, today I'm going to help you. Thank you so much. I'm going to assist you to get on the bedpan. When do we give a bedpan?
When the patient...
Well, it's not only when the patient puts a call bell on. This might be the toileting every 2 hours, right? So I'm coming in and I'm going to get my equipment, which is a chuck. The only place that the bedpan can go is on a chuck, on a chair, on a barrier, on the sink, and in the bottom drawer. It can't go on the floor, over bed table, or bedside stand. Okay, here's my second chuck, bedpan, toilet paper. I'm going to set up an emesis basin. So this is not a rush, okay? Maybe I'm toileting her every 2 hours and I'm doing my setup. If somebody needed the bedpan quickly, I might just take a chuck and the bedpan from the drawer, put the chuck underneath the patient and get her on the bedpan. If it were an emergency, she really had to use the bedpan. But this is for the state board. They want to see that you can set it up correctly. I have my folded in half. I have to lay it on the sink on take a washcloth. This is for later. Or you can use the towelettes. Add some soap and leave it here for later, okay? So now I'm going to put on my gloves. I have one here. If her bed, I'm going to lock the wheels. I'm going to screen for privacy. The bed is in the lowest position. And this is perfectly fine for this skill. I'm going to lift the sheets. If she were sitting up, I'd lower the head of the bed so she could get on to, but she's lying down already. You're going to take the sheets and just lift them to uncover the person's side of the body. That gets the sheet out of your way so you're not putting it in the bedpan. If I did it this way, lift up your hips, bend your knees. Lift up your hips, lift. No. On your back, bend your knees. Bend your knees. No, this way, patience. Bend, no, here. Lie on your back, flat on your back. Bend your knees up. Now lift your hips. That's it. Okay, so if the sheet were down, the chances are that you're going to have to deal with the sheet and it might get in the bedpan, and I've done that. It's fallen in the bedpan sometimes. You don't want to do that, okay? So this is a step that's simple, and you just can move it out of your way. I'm going to ask her to bend her knees, lift her hips, chuck goes underneath her, and one more lift, and I'm going to put the bedpan on her. And now I'm going to raise the bed so she can sit up. Nobody can have a bowel movement comfortably lying down. Now there are certain situations where the person may not be able to sit up. Conditions where they've had back surgery or, you know, a fractured pelvis. So in that situation we would use the fracture pan where the person might have to just remain almost in a lying position to use it. But that you would check out where?
To the doctor.
In the care plan. But for the state board, you're doing it this way. This is possible. Okay, so I have her sitting up. I'm going to give her the toilet paper and the call bell. Can you reach it? Okay. So I haven't touched anything soiled. The bedpan I got out with my bare hands. Because it's supposed to be disinfected when it's put away.
You have to set up the bedpan before you wear your gloves, right?
Well, you can. Or you can wear your gloves and set it up.
Wash your hands, set up the, okay, and then wear. Okay.
Or you can do it with your gloves, but you don't want to contaminate your gloves either, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now she's set up. I gave her the call bell. I'm going to remove my gloves, wash my hands,
Put another glove.
and give her privacy.
Oh.
So I'm putting my hands behind my back, and the same thing, when you're doing the skill, this means you've taken off your gloves. Don't do this for the state board. For the state board, you're actually going to remove your gloves, wash your hands, exit the room. So my gloves are on or off right now? Off, they're off, right? I'm just saving gloves. So she rings, I come back in. You're finished? Great. What's the first thing I should do?
Wash your hands.
I wash my hands and I put on fresh gloves. I'm gonna take the toilet paper away from her. And this is where I think I messed up a little bit in telling you. You're gonna offer hand hygiene. Your gloves are clean. The hand hygiene is clean. She's gonna clean her, that's to clean you, because she's wiped herself
Yeah, so we use this again?
to clean your hands,
To clean my hand, okay.
right? If you come in and patient says, oh, thank you, Ms. Fernandez, you've been so good to me, and she hasn't washed her hands, then what's on my body?
Poo-poo.
Poo-poo, you know, so you want to give, and some people do that if they're a little confused or whatever. They're trying to, so you want to give them hand hygiene right away. Here, clean your hands, and this would go into the hamper. What do I have to do with this now?
Disinfect.
I have to disinfect it, right? Dry it. And putting it away, I have to use a barrier, right? So I'm gonna put it away, I've disinfected it. You can take care of that right then and there, or you could leave it till the end. It's up to you, whatever works, but no, there's no maid service. We have to pick up after ourselves, so however you do it. Okay, so now, I took the toilet paper away. Now, I know you are. So now can you lift up easily? It's a little harder. Now try, when I lower your head, it's easier. So you have to remember to lower the head. What am I going to do with the sheet again? I'm going to just lift it up a little bit. It makes it a lot nicer than having it fall into the bedpan. Okay, so I'm going to ask her to raise her hips.
Ew.
And I cover. So that protects you. Or you could have another chuck. If you don't feel the person is clean. But for the state board, you're doing it this way. If you feel in the real world the person's not clean, you might want to leave them on a chuck, and you have another chuck here to cover the bedpan. That decreases the aroma. You don't want that aroma. Okay? So it's going to be warm and steamy. So you want to cover it. You don't want the steam to rise. Okay? So now, for the state board, you're going to ask her to lift her hips. You're going to pull the chuck and the bedpan away at the same time, covering it. And don't try to do this with the bedpan. You're not gift wrapping it, okay? You merely want to cover it. So now I come over here. I'm going to check the contents. It's normal.
Check the content?
You have to check the contents because you know where there's poo-poo, there's life, and you want it to be healthy poo-poo. So when would you save this for your supervisor to look at? If you saw what?
Blood?
If you saw blood, mucus, if there was diarrhea, if it had just an unusual look about it, particles of undigested food or something. So then you might leave it covered on a barrier on the sink so you could call your supervisor and they can let you know whether they want a sample or
On
not.
the sink?
On a barrier,
In the sink.
not in
Barrier.
the sink,
With
on top
barrier.
of the sink, a large barrier so you could rest it. You never leave it on the floor.
You could leave it in the chair?
You could leave it on the chair, yes, that's
With
another
the chuck.
place. On the chuck, there's
Yeah.
a chuck there. Okay, but for the state board, no problems. It's perfectly fine. So you look and you say, good, no problems. And that goes into the garbage. You're gonna use cold water into the bedpan.
Cold water?
Cold water anytime there's organic material. If it's blood, vomitus, you initially put cold water on it. It tightens the molecules so they release. If you add hot water, it spreads it. Got it? So organic material, cold water,
The toilet.
into the toilet.
Cover the
And
toilet.
guess what? It may not come out that easily. For the state board, yes, magically there's no problem. But in the real world, there's a toilet brush and there's disinfectant. And you clean it until it's clean. Okay? You dry the outside and you dry the inside.
You know, disinfectant.
You do disinfect it, I'm saying, yeah. Yes. Okay? So, this is soiled. I'm gonna put away the bedpan with a barrier. It goes in what drawer?
The last
The
The
last.
bottom drawer, right. I open up the drawer and we have like 5 bedheads in there, so I can't put it in. All right, so I put it away in the drawer. I come back. I'm gonna remove my gloves. Wash my hands. And straighten her out. This gets thrown away. Here's your call bell. Can you reach it? You feel better now? Good. Just playing the role. Lock the wheels again. Ensure that they're still locked. Unscreen, wash my hands. So how many hand washings in this? When I came in, now let's count again. When I
4.
came in, I put on my gloves to give her the bedpan. I remove my gloves to walk out of the room and wash my hands. That's 2 hand washings. I come back in the room, I wash my hands, right? I give her the hand hygiene, I remove the bedpan, remove my gloves and wash my hands, that's 4.
5.
And then 5. By the time the last time I leave, I wash my hands again. 5 hand washings. You're gonna get good and fast at this, people, okay? All right, so we're gonna do that, and just to give people a chance to do the skill, I'm gonna show you a video on mental illness. What is mental illness?